Hello everyone. So sorry it's late today. I ended up not having to be in town at my usual time. And so yeah, one question I have. My kids don't have school tomorrow or Thursday. Usually when that happens, I wait for my husband. So, unless I hear different, the stream will be later in the afternoon, evening tomorrow. Hopefully not too late, but it will be later. Like, to me, this is kind of what I'm considering too late. Hopefully it'll be before this time. I had to kind of go shopping. Hello, Steph! Had to get food in the house, so... Hi, Jen! So, I don't know if you guys heard that, but tomorrow and Thursday, and Friday, but tomorrow and Thursday, my kids don't have school, so I'll be probably do the stream with my husband. So it'll be an evening stream.
Waterfowl hunt.
Oh, okay. He says it'll be maybe around this time because of the waterfowl hunt.
Especially Thursday.
I don't know, why those teenage boys and older of mine eat like they do, And I am teasing you. It would probably be after 4. My husband's saying that he
I might go out, or I just
may go
for Travis.
Duck hunting.
He may leave me for Travis on Thursday. What?
Sounds good. Was gonna say he's got to go duck hunting. LOL. That was Jen.
Yeah, I knew that.
And Steph asks, "How's the duck hunt going?"
Slow.
Horrible.
You killed your first one Saturday.
True.
Slow for my husband. My stepson has gotten his first duck.
First duck ever.
Ever. So it's not quite as bad for him because...
Not the first thing I ever killed.
But at the same time, he is having issues. And I bet it... Yep.
I went a block
there.
Far up, down, didn't I?
No, let's see. You go down one more.
Yep, I see the school.
So the reason I'm checking all the is giving you heck. Let's put it that way. I need those 2 more cabinets, Bogart cabinets. So that's why I'm checking all the reds. I'm looking also for green because I want to get as many green rune stones as I can. Okay, now I'll tell him what you said. Remember, Steph, he's not a very good shot, especially if they're in flight. LOL.
Something like that, yes.
Jen, did you just hear Caden?
Caden just said something like that, huh? Or, yes, not huh.
Really?
Yes.
So, yes, we're all giving him heck over it. Or you guys are all giving him heck over it.
Fathom.
I will give you that. You're probably a much better shot than I am. Considering I haven't picked up a gun ever.
If I picked up a rifle and tried shooting a deer, Jen would beat me any day of the week. I suck with a rifle.
Laughing out loud at Caden. Not in season here yet. Whitetail deer, wild turkey, and dove are open for bow and muzzle loaders. That's what Steph says. Ours opened, our duck and...
Whitetail deer here.
Yeah, we don't have white-tailed deer here, but Our duck season opens up the first weekend in October. Does goose open up at the same time?
Yes.
Yep.
So goose opens up at the same time.
Goose is closed.
There is a week or two. There is a short time they close goose back up, and Brett thinks that it's closed right now. But they do close it back up.
That would be, yeah.
I'm letting him read your comment stuff.
I
the
can't
bottom
read
line.
it.
Okay. She's laughing. Bless it, Brett.
Hi, I'm being mocked by the internet.
I suck when I can shoot at a deer 20, 30 feet away from him. When I miss with a rifle, I suck.
You did miss a deer, didn't you, Dad?
I think, what are all our deer? Mule deer? Or?
Mule deer.
Yeah. All we have here are mule
There
deer.
are whitetail, but they're few and far.
Oh, okay. He says we do have whitetail, but they're very rare. So if I were to go in my dad's shop in about next week, I might go, if you guys want to see a ton of mule deer in process, I could go walk in and stream. I don't know if it would stream though. I might just have to take a picture and show you. But his coolers are going to be stuffed with mule deer. They always are, even in bad seasons. Because he's like the only game processor for miles and miles and miles and miles. They've been getting animals since August because of that. So from other states, whatever else. I kind of agree with that, Jen, but I think I'm wondering if we're going to get a lot right before Halloween or on Halloween. Yeah, we get a bunch of elk too. We get some moose. They've had a few buffalo through there. I can't remember if they've had anything else. Yep. I remember you said that. So, hey, Angel Goddess! Yeah, honestly, we take a lot of, or we use the duck throughout the year, but off and on, we'll have my dad process some of it. And oh, that's good. You know, when you have a professional smokehouse, it makes a difference. So, yeah, the reason we're waiting here right now is my husband went in to talk to someone, and maybe we might have someone joining us. We will see. That's also why you don't hear him laughing anymore. But you do hear Caden eating the candy that I picked up for him. He was happy about that. Yeah, I think oddity spawns are back to normal. We will see. It would have been about noon today they went back to normal. I get that. Honestly, this smokehouse we have was built by my great-grandpa. And it's actually kind of funny. There was a point in time when Mom and Dad were so used to the fire department getting calls that their building was on fire, that they finally made a sign, and they'd put it in the window because the fire department would smash the window to open the door to get in and see what it was, only to find out, oh, it's just the smokehouse. And then, Mom and Dad would have to replace the window. And so they finally made a sign that said, smokehouse in use, not on fire. So that's what I like about their processing more, is they have the smokehouse. They have the room to brine for quite a while. And so the smokehouse is what, rather than the small ones, it's a full big smokehouse. And they have to do bigger batches, but they do that. And it's the cooking wallet smokes. So it really, I feel, kicks the flavor in. In fact, I prefer my parents' smoked turkey to regular turkey just because it's moist, because they pump it first. So they put in a whole bunch of juice into it. So it tenderizes it and everything else. And then they smoke it. So there's that. They have a way to make the your round jerky. You can get those. You can get salami. Yeah. So I'm not sure, I never fully understood this story, but from what I understand, your corned beef and stuff, the fact that you can get it wholesale, my grandpa was one of the first ones to offer it not homemade. He figured out how he could package it in a way that you could, rather than having to have it made fresh, you could actually buy it and then use it. I don't know that reference, but I'm sure Kaden does. She said, salami. Homer Simpson drill.
Yep.
My dad also makes brats from the family recipe, and then he's adjusted it. The works. So I grew up with basically working in a processing shop. So when I was born, my dad was working at this place for his grandpa. A couple years later, he moved down to Pioche, Nevada, and worked there for 9 months looking at buying a place, and it realized with a growing family that wasn't going to work out. Then moved to Delta and Oasis, Utah, and he worked for Safeway for a number of years while it was a couple of years while it was here, and then opened his own shop, had that for a while, and then Safeway asked him to go to Roosevelt and offered him enough of a raise and whatever, enough money that he agreed to do that. In Roosevelt, he did game processing on the side, as well as working at the meat counter, and Safeway turned to Farmer Jack, which turned to Former Jack. So then we came to Logan, and he worked for Tri Miller, I believe it was. Yeah, for Tri Miller for a while. And then got out right about my senior year, so a year before they closed down. And in that time, he was also working in the game for my uncle, for his cousin and his uncle. So for my dad's uncle and cousin. And he did windows for a while. And then when they closed it down, he bought the place so he'd have a place to do the game processing, and did the game processing for a year or two and got tired of the calls for his French dip. And so he opened up the deli with the idea my brother would run it, but my brother's wife wanted him to have the money of being a business owner and the time, but to work 9 to 5 and be on call, such that she could call him anytime she wanted, but not work any more than 9 to 5. And yeah, so it didn't work very well. So Mom and Dad took it back over. And so right now, my son, my oldest, is working for them, and he's working right now 8 to anywhere from 6 to midnight. So 8 a.m. to 6 p.m. or as late as midnight. My son and another son and a daughter go over, right now it's a couple days a week, but as it gets but it's ramping up to where it may be every single evening. So, and they work there basically from right out of school until midnight, or unless I insist they have to be home to get homework done or stuff. Or they insist to their grandma they've got time off for something. And it will not slow down until as soon as deer season's over, they've already had to start for Thanksgiving. As soon as Thanksgiving's over, they're already deep in Christmas season. And it goes until New Year's, and then it dies. And it's really slow, so yeah. In fact, I would not be surprised. My parents do have another a different wrapping thing that works faster for most people. Not for my daughter, but for most people. And so we will see, but in the past I usually get called in at least a few times between now and New Year's to help out. So we will see what happens, if I get called in or not. I'm kind of hoping not because of my back, but who knows. So, he's still inside, and Caden got out, I don't know why. He's walking around the place. But yeah, my parents, I think they said over half their income comes in between September and December. So September, October, November, December. So in that third of a year, they get over half their income. And I would not be surprised if, I think it's evened out a little bit more since they started the kill truck, and they've really been making that good. But No, I'm not positive. Yeah, wrapping duty. Wrapping and screening jerky. And taking jerky off the racks. Those are our kid jobs. And I'm still on that duty. As you get a little bit older, the boys are allowed to learn to skin animals. Not the girls, just the boys. So, and I think that was just because of Mom, not Dad. Yeah. Dad, I think, would have taught me from day one, but Mom was always, no, your job is, you have to do the girl jobs. And Jen, you should see Mindy wrap. Holy crap. But now what they have is a shrink wrapper. I think Dad would have had me skinning maybe even earlier if Caden went around the back. I don't know why.
He went around the back. Why?
I just said I don't know why, so you ask why. He doesn't listen very well, does he, at times? I said, I think Caden went around back. I don't know why. He went around back? Why? We do not have a free kill weekend. I don't think. So, right around October 25th is when rifle hunt opens. And it's open anywhere from 3 days to a week for deer. I don't remember for elk when rifle season is. We will get we do have a few late hunts into December, but they aren't, and actually I think there are a few in January, but they're so rare that really that's not the huge part. So, yeah, my parents literally just got the shrink wrapper in July or August, or sometime mid-July or into August. So I don't have any experience with this shrink wrapper. Well, I have a tiny bit, but not very much. So we'll see how it goes with that. I don't mind the smell of butcher paper either. It's just, I think it's a case of I grew up with it so much, like surrounded by it, by the smell of that and meat, that I can't smell it. I'm also one that can't taste the difference between between game meat and ground beef as long as you prepare it right. And by that I mean make sure you've added in your fats and whatever else. And people always claimed they could taste it, but then I'd take ground beef from my house that was deer meat. So I should say ground game or elk, or ground deer or elk, or yeah, usually deer or elk. So if someone didn't pick up their deer, my parents would keep it because it was processed, and they either do that or they throw it away and throw away the money and the time and whatever. So they'd keep it, and usually we'd get a couple of those a year. In fact, we still do, and that's what my kids grew up on. because my parents would let me have it. So, because they couldn't use it all. But so I would take that, and people couldn't taste the difference.
That wasn't good.
Maybe he did go Pokemon hunting. I don't know.
What? Caden?
Uh-huh.
You want to go try to do a favor and kick out the Duke out of the gym, but all he got was this loading screen, so he gave up.
Yeah, it was Pokemon Go. He was trying to help the Duke out. So
Duke's been in for 20 hours.
So I do not know on if they wrapped the out-of-state big game they had this year in paper, or if they did the shrink wrap. I know they've had a couple already, rush orders.
Shrink wrap, if I'm correct.
Exactly!
What?
Well-bled, good handling, fat added, and good seasoning, and it's impossible to tell the difference between beef and deer.
Well said.
Huh?
Is that what Jen said?
No, that's Steph. Her brother is a meat processor. Or is a game processes game, it sounds like.
White-tailed deer is better than mule deer at all.
My husband says white-tailed deer is better than mule deer, though.
White-tailed deer, I've eaten it a few times in my life. It's better tasting than mule deer. Mule deer feed off sage and everything like that up in the mountains. White-tailed deer are mainly down in the valley, but I'll tell you this. If I ever got a deer tag again, I'd shoot one right behind my house. It would really be good eating. It's been eating hay and grain all year.
Yeah. It's really, I will never forget. I walked in one year into our cooler, and there was a green carcass. Dad was doing his best to keep it separated from everything else. The guy let it hang out in the heat. And it wasn't a cold year. It was one of our warmer times in the fall. For a month before he brought it in. No attempt to cool it, nothing. For a month. And then brought it in for Dad to process. Dad quickly put rules in place that so he would never have to deal with that again.
That's just gross.
And he said the amount of meat he got out of that once he cut off all the bad and whatever was ridiculous.
What?
We heading home.
I didn't hear you. What?
Are we heading home?
I think so. It depends when this guy's done streaming.
Ah.
What he needs to do.
Yeah, ours won't handle the huge cuts either. That they do have to wrap by hand. But most people around here don't want necessarily the huge cuts, so. And Dad debones everything, so, other than the ribs, obviously. And I'm not even sure if he does ribs. I don't think he does ribs, so I think he debones everything. So I think he's able to control the size unless they want huge, or to go with sizes people want, and so they're good unless they want huge
You
sizes.
done a fortress battle yet, sweetie?
Nope.
Gotta do a fortress battle.
They used the battery packed up.
I would prefer
Unplugged
it
my
I don't even have your phone.
sponsored
Oh,
gym,
that's
but
good.
that's fine. Oh, okay. Here, how about I hand his phone back, let you unplug it?
Are you good, Dad? Or?
I'm good. I've got everything complete.
You might have. Dad was not happy.
What?
The green deer.
Yeah.
Dad, so when he gets it in, it immediately goes in the cooler. He prefers people to bring it straight from the kill in. His rules are if you skin it and you leave it dirty and he has to reskin it, he will charge for that. And they offer a skinning amount, and then from there he lets it hang in the cooler in the cold. He makes sure it cools down, and he lets it hang about I don't know, for a few days, enough to have it good, but you don't. He makes it clear you don't let deer hang as many days as you let a beef hang to mature. And so but he prefers to leave it for a little while to mature and to cool all the way down and everything. And then he processes it, cutting out all the blood spots, deboning everything, whatever else. So he puts some really good love and care into it. There was a time that my uncle was in charge of it, and people got to the point they said that they would ask for my dad to process their meat specifically.
What?
Yeah, my dad basically set rules because of it. It was before that, honestly, it had no problems whatsoever with what they brought in. I mean, if it was already in pieces, then he'd have a problem, and he charged more for it. And my mom was, especially if it's in too many pieces, my mom was always in charge of checking it out. That wasn't an issue. And so he never thought that there would need to be a rule about that. Because and he'd been working for years and years, and no. Yep, that's what Dad's is 45, but so basically about the same.
What?
If it's if they skin it out in the field and it's so bad that he basically has to reskin it, he charges them to skin it. At least I believe Dad's is 45. I know that's what it was last time I looked.
That sucks.
I could look it up on Facebook.
The price of gas going up.
Mm-hmm.
Yep. I know it sucks. I figured you'd know where I was.
You can.
Yeah.
Tell her if she wants to join us, you're going to go out to the sponsored fortress.
Brett said to tell you, Jen, if you want to join us, we're headed to the South AT&T to do a fortress battle or two or whatever.
I've already done my fortress battle.
That greenhouse froze my screen. Oh well. No. He's trying to turn into the down, into Stevens Henniger, and then into the inn and the Wendy's to get to the fortress. Down a little bit more. Okay. Someone's here. I don't know why, but it looks like it may be a employee. Let's see. Check that one. Check this one. If you wanted to wait 20 minutes or so.
Not really.
He says not really. I got to come back into town. So maybe I can let you know if I do. So my dad said that the taste always, let's see, what was it? The look of the place always affects the taste of the meat. He told me of a time when his dad used to get salami from someone else, have someone else process it. And so someone else would process it. And he would oh, I have another of these runestone. Let's do this. And he would let people try the meat.
They're pomegranate flavored.
Yeah, how much do I grab?
Take them all.
Okay.
Looks like they... Oh, I don't think... I may not have the update yet. I thought I did, but... and he would let people try his salami. And they would say, oh, this tastes better than this other place. Well, it was processed by the other place, using the very same recipe as the other place, everything else. But because the other place was dingy and everything else, they immediately said it didn't taste as good. Where Grandpa made sure he kept his whites white. Like he would insist on having them painted, stuff like that, if they started looking even slightly dingy, etc. And people would literally say it tasted better. So, same meat, basically the same meat, just changed by where the person tried it. But Dad's always been very careful to try and keep, especially because of that, because he lets people walk through, any customer that wants, he lets walk through his shop and talk to him and whatever else. And so he works very hard to keep it looking good. Let's see if I got it. Horn serpent egg, oh well.
You needed a bowl?
I need both, but... Okay. We can go. I'll come back in and with what I need for the kids and...
Who was that messaging?
That's your phone.
I know, Caden's got my phone.
No, I know, it's right there!
Gotta brew some more healing potions. Oh, wait. Forgot something. I'll see what you guys said in just a minute. Oh, wrong way. What? There. Same thing as last time, but this time it actually took. Of course.
Are we ready then?
Yep.
Nope. It's AJ McCall.
That's always frustrating stuff. Yeah, I don't know what certifications my dad keeps, but I know he works with the local health department rather than the ag inspectors, because he's considered a small facility. And so, and he wants to keep it that way because one thing I do know is it depends on the inspector. One inspector will say something's good, another inspector will say something's not, and things like that. So, and then it ups the price of everything significantly. So, okay, I think I'm going to let you guys go just because we are headed home. Jen, I will contact you because I need to bring in some stuff for my kids. They're staying at their uncle's again. So, yeah. So I will be coming back in. I might as well hit the sponsored fortress with you after I drop it off. So,
I myself am going to go to bed. I'm tired and my bed's calling me.
Brett says he's tired at 7:30.
I'm tired.
When you do 2,350 head of beef in one day in 8 hours.
I get it. I'm not complaining. I'm just saying Brett says he's tired at 7:30. Usually it's 9:30. Anyway, I wonder if you're getting slightly sick or something.
No, it's just I'm exhausted.
Okay. Anyway, so yeah, I know around here so what my parents do is they get their meat from other processors, and so it's already gone through a lot of the certification, and then they just cut it smaller. So that makes a difference. Night, Brett. Good luck on your dusk duck hunting.
We have no luck.
Caden says we have no luck. I think